Photographers, let me ask you a question. When's the last time you shot vertically a landscape photo? Think about it. Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to another video here at Benham Media. My name is Nathan and it's an absolute pleasure to have all of you here today. Thank you so much for clicking on that thumbnail. If you are new here, please consider giving this video a like at any time if you do in fact enjoy it. And if you like what you see, maybe consider subscribing to the channel. But I would like to welcome every single one of you back to a brand new video, and we are talking about Instagram. Instagram is I have a very love-hate relationship with Instagram at the moment, and sort of like the prospects of what it compares to other social medias, a little bit like YouTube and TikTok and Twitter and all these other sort of avenues that as a photographer, as a creator, that we are trying to do our best to get our work out there. But let's focus on Instagram for this particular video and the new changes that are coming into that are rolling in to the application. So you may have already heard that the head of Instagram has released a reel, go figure, about the new changes that they're going to try to bring in to like the photography side of Instagram. Yeah, it looks like, we already know that Instagram is looking to direct itself towards video. It wants to be a video sharing app. Reels are getting more priority over photographs, over stories, over anything else. They are focusing on that side of the application itself, which forces a lot of photographers to start rethinking the way that they like to share their content. So, we are made to sort of like start thinking, we're not just taking photographs, we have to start thinking about taking reels and how the algorithm within Instagram has actually worked. Because again, it has changed and it's changing every single 2 or 3 months by the feel of it. I myself have noticed massively that the way that my content is viewed on Instagram has dropped. Now, is that because I post less? No, I still try to post at least a reel and a photograph every single day, and I try to do as many stories as I can. Does that mean I've changed my hashtags? I try to change them up as often as I can, but I try to sort of, again, stick to hashtags that I know might work. And it does, it changes so quickly that all of a sudden, once you think that you've got your head around the space of Instagram, Instagram then decides that it's going to change the way we're viewing it. Like I said before, just a second ago, that again, Instagram has decided to sort of step a little bit away from it being a photo sharing app. They've even said it is no longer a photo sharing app. We are now focusing on Reels, which also goes to show the new changes which they are trying to sort of implicate or test, beta run, I suppose is a better way of showing it. We might not all see it straight away, but they are testing a new way that we will view our content on their application. And that is to see everything from videos to photographs in the new 9:16 crop. Now, this has evolved over the last 2 or 3 years. Obviously, to begin with, it was more of like a 1:1 square crop, and then eventually it became a 4:5 crop, which was a little bit more sort of palatable, which also meant if you were doing a horizontal landscape photograph, you would try to stitch together 2 4:5s and you'll use the carousel to show the whole thing. So with this new crop, with this brand spanking new 9:16 crop, which is basically, if you take your phone, is what you view like this. This is a typical 9:16 crop. So they are doing what is being quoted by him, a mobile first. And I understand it slightly. I do. One of the first things that most of us do when we wake up in the morning is reach for our phones. And we sit there going, oh, there it is. And we reach for our phones. One of the first applications that I go on when I grab my phone is in fact Instagram. I check to see what my friends have done. I check to see how my posts have been doing. I check to see how my reels have been doing. So I do now understand that we are now going into a way of photography and content creator because we spend most of it on our phone. So I do see the process is that we do spend a lot of times on our phone, watching this content on our phones. And as a photographer, how is this going to change? Because as an application, they are thinking about the photograph side of it. But what they are trying to really push in is the square photograph into the circle video. So what we are not going to try to adapt to be sociable for both of them. You need to make sure that your photographs fit in that little hole, which means we only have to think about the video sides of it, and then you've got to try to match your photographs to match our videos, and you've got to try to really shove it in there. Leading back to the question in the intro, as a photographer, when was the last time that you consciously took a horizontal landscape photograph? Me personally, it's mainly when I have to do it for a job or when I'm doing stock photography. I have to train my brain to keep my camera horizontal. Otherwise, I take the majority of my photographs in portrait, because I know they're going to go onto an application, because I know the one place that I'm going to share my content is an application. And the way that Instagram is now sort of moving towards is that a landscape photograph will be completely useless on an application like Instagram. You're not going to see it in a video, you're not going to see it in a reel, you're not going to turn your phone going, oh, that's an interesting photograph, let's have a look. You're not. You're going to be scrolling like this. And I've seemed to have trained my brain that when I go on my photo walks and when I sort of like take my sort of camera out, I almost instantly turn it on its side and I take my photographs like this. And I have discussed this with a few of my photographer friends, and they're all of a sudden like going, oh yeah, that is accurate. Like we shoot sideways now, and it's become sort of like a second nature. You don't even think about it anymore. And all of a sudden we are now training our brains as photographers to make sure that we shoot in portrait mode. We take a photograph of a person, it's in portrait mode. We take a photograph of a cityscape, it's in portrait mode. You might be sat there on the lakes of Canada or anywhere else in the world, and you are looking at this sensational view in front of you, which a landscape photograph is literally built. It's named after what you are seeing. And you will still go, I'm going to share this on Instagram, and poof, you will change it to a portrait photograph, just like that. And you know, it's not just us. I have seen videos of Peter McKinnon and Chris Howell say the same type of thing, that they have seemed to sort of retrain their brain as a sort of a content creator photographer to start shooting in sort of portrait. So what does this mean for the application? Why do I say that I have a love-hate relationship with it? I believe that as a photographer, it was one of the best applications to go through. Like, it was a great way of showing your work. When I would speak to other photographers, they would go, oh man, you're a photographer. Can I get your Instagram? Can I get your Instagram? You say, hey, are you on Instagram? Oh, let me see your work. It was a way for photographers to share their sort of like portfolio without actually having to create a portfolio online. It was a fantastic way to have your portfolio with you in your hand everywhere that you went. And yeah, it slowly grew into a social media app where you could share photos of your holidays, of your lifestyle, and all these sort of things. And it grew and it grew and it grew and it grew. And it became something different, a little bit more sort of professional away from the Facebooks and sort of like, the Twitter of the world, because we all know what Twitter has to offer. But now, as a photographer, you've got to start thinking about the reels. To ask a photographer to start thinking about reels isn't something that is a little bit alien towards us, but it does mean that when you're out and about shooting your day to day, or your sort of your cityscapes, or your sort of my POVs or anything like that, I have to have in back of my head a certain type of reel that I want to make. So instead, what I've ended up doing is that I've made most of my reels being quite funny, because I am also a performer. So I use my grid as my photography work, and I use my reels to try to be entertaining. So that's how I've sort of managed to do it. But over the last few months, I've noticed that my reach has really dropped. And is that because of the change of the algorithm? Because I've not changed the way that I use Instagram. Instagram has just changed, and I've not learned how to use it in its new context. That doesn't mean it doesn't work for photographers. I have seen firsthand, my friend Ben has literally learnt the new algorithm, and he has shot up almost by the best part of 10,000 followers in the last 2 or 3 months because he's managed to get the work working for him. But this is my next problem that I'm having with Instagram at the moment. I am currently replaying with TikTok. I'm using what I do as Reels on Instagram, and I'm doing the same with TikTok because TikTok seems to be quite a nice, friendly community when it comes to city videos, which is another part of my personality. What I've noticed about Instagram is that if you post a photograph today you will get the likes, you will get the comments, and you will get the, oh, that's pretty good. Tomorrow you might get a few more. The day after you might get a couple more, but next week, that is it. That content is now dead in the water. There are photographs that I'm very, very proud of that I've taken last month, last year, that don't get any traction on the platform anymore. If I want my followers to see it, then I'm going to have to repost it and hope to get another sort of like a ball rolling with that sort of particular type of content. Unlike what I am noticing with TikTok and also this platform, YouTube, that old content still has a little bit of life in it. What you will discover now in sort of this platform, in YouTube, if you do in fact like this video and you give it a like, in your recommendations list, you will see other videos that I am part of. You will see more Benham Media videos because the algorithm for YouTube will go, oh, you liked his video, you might like this video. And if you go that extra step by going, I like this guy a lot, I'm gonna subscribe to his channel, the algorithm will then go, you've just subscribed to this guy, here's a few more videos that he's made because you quite clearly like him. So all of a sudden, I am getting views from videos from 6 months ago to a year ago, and likes and comments again on those type of videos. Exactly the same as what I'm finding with TikTok. You start scrolling through TikTok and then you will like somebody or like a video, and you scroll through more on your For You page, you will see that there are more videos from that creator. Because all of a sudden that algorithm is going, well, you like this guy, you might like more. So one thing I've noticed, if I like a photo from Instagram, I'm not really seeing their content again. I'm not seeing a photograph that they took 3 or 4 months ago. So I'll say, oh, you liked their photo, you might like this. Exactly the same as a reel. If I like a reel, I might not see another content creator again. You know, I'm still scrolling and I'm seeing brand new ones. Is that because the market is flooded? Is that because there are so many photographs and reels being made on a daily basis? Maybe. And the feed doesn't seem to be in sort of like date order. You know, I will see posts that came like an hour ago, or I will see posts that came like 2-3 hours ago next to each other. And then all of a sudden it will be like, it doesn't make sense. And whatever they are doing at Instagram, I hope they figure it out soon. It's like they are losing their identity. So we have started off as a photography photo sharing app, but these guys over here, like they're sharing videos and they're doing really, really good and they're making a lot of money out of it. Or these guys are also sharing sort of like short videos. Maybe we should sort of, and also they're trying to get everything and cram it into one sort of application. And don't get me wrong, that is good. If you have one application where you can share all of your work, that is brilliant. That's fantastic. But they need to decide what they are trying to do, what they are trying to focus on, which I think maybe they have. They've decided that they want to be a video sharing app, so they are slowly showing photographers the back exit. They are going, right, we want to focus on reels now. So yeah, carry on taking your photographs, but we're gonna push the reels forward. This new 9x16 crop might work, it might not work. It is potentially the end of landscape photography as we know it on a social media basis, because I don't know any other sort of social media app that can actually keep up with this type of platform. And maybe that landscape just becomes a more of a commercial, what a client wants rather than what a photographer or a creator starts to make. So we're very interested to know your thoughts on this matter. What are your thoughts on Instagram and the new changes? Does your app already show these changes? Because I know they're not showing it to everybody. And yeah, do you see a future for photography on Instagram? Please hit me up in the comments below. And if you've got any questions, quotes, or queries, please hit them down there as well. In the meantime, guys, if you would like to see more of me and you want to see my Instagram, it's going to be darted up here somewhere. It depends on what space I give myself around my head. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you out and about in the streets of London or any other city that I tend to visit at some point in the future. But until next time, guys, thank you so much for watching. and you have yourself a fantastic day. Bye.